This is probably one of the most personal videos that I've filmed in a very long time. I have been away in therapy, doing a lot of healing. It's been a lot of tears. I just didn't want to make videos while I was experiencing the situation because I felt like it would have been based solely off of an emotional response. There was a lot of anger there still. So I just didn't think that it was healthy to make a video. Like, I wanted to be clear. I wanted to at least know, that my heart is okay and I'm at peace with the decisions that I have made. Hey, and welcome back to Kiwi's World. If you are new to my channel, please comment, like, and subscribe. Get your tissues, get your water. I'm a big crier, so some tears might just come out in this video. Just a warning. The water to stay hydrated because hello, like, it's gonna be a lot of talking. So let's get into this video. I was not gonna release this video because I was like, this is so personal. When I go through friendship breakups and things like that, it is not something that I am just willing to bear all to the internet. But because of the experience that I had to put myself aside and say, you know what, I'm gonna make this video because it's going to help somebody. Like, when I was searching for videos about what to do with a friendship breakup, I didn't find any. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to make that video for that person that really needs to hear it and just really needs to, decompress. So for starters, I am no stranger to friendship breakups. Like, I've had previous friendship breakups. It happens, it's a part of life. I think that what I couldn't come to terms with is I was literally giving people my heart. Like, the same amount of energy that I give in a romantic relationship, that's the same amount of energy that I give to my friends because I love my friends. I'm a big acts of service. I love to give gifts. I love to let my friends know that I am thinking about them. I'm that girl that's in the store and I'm like, oh my God, my friend will look so cute in this. Let me buy this for her. Let me surprise her. I'm that type of friend. I'm just so giving. And I don't say this to boast or to brag, but it's just, God has made my heart so big and he's given me so much love. So what I feel on the inside, I've been trying to pour out as much as possible because I feel like if people feel as loved as I feel loved, they will change. And a lot of people won't. I was that friend that thought that I could change people. Like, I could love people past the hurt and the pain and stuff like that. And sometimes you can. Sometimes your friends will change their ways, but there are other times where the damage is already done. Not enough people are going to therapy. And it hurts at the end of the day when you're not getting that reciprocation back. I've come across a lot of women that do not reciprocate. And when you don't reciprocate that energy to me, that's when I have issues. That's when I have problems. Will I come to you and communicate about it? Yes. Have I always done things the right way? No, I'm human. I think that I've experienced that twice now. And I'm just tired of going to therapy for y'all, quite frankly. Like, I'm gonna start sending y'all my therapy bill because it's become too much. But what I learned from that first friendship breakup is that I need to mind my business. When it comes to my friends telling me about their relationship, it just needs to be that. You tell me about your relationship, right? You vent to me. I'm not gonna try to input myself. I'm gonna give you advice as best as I can, but if you don't take it, there's nothing that I could do. Because at the end of the day, women are gonna do what women want to do. A woman could tell you today in the group chat, girl, I wanna leave him. I don't got time for this. I'm done with him. Next day, they right back together. That's my man. That's what I learned from that friendship. I went forward from 2019 and up. I said, okay, if I ever make another friend, I am not going to be in their relationship business. I'm going to give her advice and I'm going to move on. I'm not going to be saying, girl, why you not listening to me? I'm not going to be giving her attitude for not listening to me. I'm not doing any of that. I'm simply just going to give her the advice. If she takes it and executes it, fine. But if she doesn't, I have to be okay with either or. But yeah, that was the first friendship breakup that I went through, and it was very hard for me because we were very close. Like, things that I had never told anybody in this world, I had told this girl. So it really hurt my heart to know that there was no repairing, there was no going back. But I'm such a real girl that I'm not going for that. Like, if I want the best for myself, I want the best for my friends. And I don't care how much you love that man. I'm going to tell you the ultimate truth. Like, I'm going to tell you things that I needed to hear. When I was in that toxic relationship, chasing after that man, I'm going to tell you the things that I needed to hear. I have the experience. And I think because women don't want to be single so bad, They put a lot of their standards to the back burner, and it's just like, okay, I have to accept this man as he is. No, God has a plan for you to be in a healthy marriage with a healthy man. Either man with all of the qualities, or I don't want him, because I know that God is not going to have to deliver me a man. That's all I have to say on that part. For that first friendship, I feel like I yapped enough. So after that friendship, what do? I'm like, okay, I'm looking on YouTube for friendship breakup videos. I'm trying to figure out how to heal my heart, and nothing was working. So I start working out. Then I start looking into therapy. I'm like, okay, I need to go to therapy and talk to somebody about this and release this, because I still have these heavy feelings weighing on my chest. Like, even though this girl is not in my life, I was still worried about her. I was like, I'm so worried about her because of the signs that this man has showed me. Like, it really scared me, y'all. So I went to therapy, started to heal from it, started to release it. I started working at a new school. And that's when I met this second friend that I'm about to talk about. We worked out of school for about, I want to say like 2 or 3 years. And we weren't close at first because her classroom was in the back and mine was in the front. So we would see each other only when we would take the kids to the playground. We'll chat a little bit, and that was it. So it was a basic co-worker relationship. So she ends up leaving our school and she goes back to work at a previous company I had worked with. And we keep in contact through chat, like through text message, but it wasn't like heavy. And then once I seen that they had like a temporary position at that same school that she was at, I was like, okay, I can go over there under the temp agency. It'll be cool, no responsibility. So I text her and I was like, hey girl, I'm coming over there. I'm working over there real soon. And she's like, oh yeah, come on. So I ended up leaving. I'm at a new school, a new start. And I'm there temporarily because I went there under an agency because I wasn't sure if I really wanted to go back to my old job or not. I was still contemplating and stuff like that. I was like, I don't even know if I really want to be a teacher anymore. There were so many thoughts going through my head. So when I came back to that school, I came back temporarily as her co-teacher. I met the director there and I was just trying to get a feel of the girls, talking to the other teachers, and they're pretty much telling me, you know, the director has certain ways that they don't like. So I'm like, okay, I'm that type of person. I'm very observative. I'm not going to instantly jump on somebody just because you're telling me something that you don't like about them. That's just not reasonable to me. I prefer to get to know the person myself. So I'm going around the school. I'm filling the director out. I'm filling all the teachers out. This co-teacher, I already know her a little bit because we had a small little chats, but I think when we got inside the classroom, that's when I really got to know her. I'm at this new school, everything's going great, I'm getting paid. I'm like, oh, I work for the agency, so I don't have that much attachments to the school. I'm glad I could just sit back and relax. So I thought. But God had other plans. One time the director approaches me and she's like, hey, you know, have you considered working here like permanently? Because I love your teaching style. I've been observing you in the classroom. I love how you are with the kids. I think that you could really grow. And I was like, nah, I'm not really here for that at first. I was like, I kind of like being a temporary teacher because it's less responsibility for me. It's less weight. I was just coming from a school that was also toxic. And I felt like I was doing so much at that school that was not getting acknowledged. So I didn't want to do that whole thing again, just chill. But the director was so persistent with me. I kid y'all not. She kept asking me, she was like, listen, you can get, benefits and stuff like that. You should really consider coming back. You're a great teacher. Like, she was just really pouring into me like things that I needed to hear at the time. I started considering it a little bit, and then she got me and I was like, okay, I'll be a permanent teacher here. I can see myself being a permanent co-teacher here. I could see myself doing this. Why not? Why not give it another go? Now we're at the point where I'm like, I want to say a year and I'm teaching at this job. And the director comes to me and she talks to me and she's like, hey, I can see you as being like a teacher lead, which pretty much meant that I would get paid like $1 more. And like, she wanted me to be in charge of like helping teachers do different lesson plans and stuff like that. Came to me with this, I was like, I was only a little hesitant because I already knew what came with the territory. I already know when you're in a space where it's hostile between the teachers and the director, you have this new teacher coming in and you're putting me before these people. I already knew how it was going to be perceived. I already have this confidence when I'm teaching in the classroom, this confidence when I'm talking to people. I'm very direct. So I already knew how that was coming off to some teachers. I'm more than sure some teachers did not like it. I was not everybody's cup of tea, and I was okay with that. But I was not okay with being the lead because it's very hard to separate being somebody's friend when you have to tell them what to do. So I knew what already came with the territory and I didn't want it. So I sat on it for a couple of days. And again, the director was being persistent, and she was like, this position is for you. Take it. Take that $1 more. Get paid a little $1 more. And I was like, you know what? You're right. I deserve a little more change in my pocket. I've been working hard. So I finally take the position and I start making $1 more. Everything's great. And then the director comes to me and she's like, hey, I want you to do a training for all of the teachers on this online portal that we have. I'm like, okay, girl, I could do that. It's a little 1-2. I could do that. So we go inside the building. We have this team meeting. We all sit down, my co-teacher included, and all the other teachers. And I'm like, hey guys, I get the iPad and I'm like, okay, this is the portal. This is what you need to do. Everybody's asking me questions. I was like, oh my God, this is going better than I thought it was. You know, like they're not being mean to me. I don't see any cattiness until, let me give y'all an example of what I'm doing. I'm like, look guys, this is the portal. Da, 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 da. I look over at the table. To my surprise, the co-teacher is rolling her eyes at me as I'm talking. She's like, and I guess she was rolling her eyes so bad, like that demon possessed her so bad to the point where she didn't even see me looking at her. I look back, I'm like, oh, word. Hey, it was the first sign to me that I was like, you got to watch that one. You got to be a little careful with that one. She not really feeling you like how she's saying she's feeling you. Now, even after she rolled her eyes at me, I was like, you know what? I got to give her grace because she doesn't know me. Maybe she's looking at me like, I don't know who this girl thinks she is coming up in here telling us what to do. We know how to work this app. Maybe that's the thoughts that she had, right? These preconceived notions that she have about me. But still, I'm going to give her grace. You don't know me, but you're going to get to know me. And also after that meeting, I had another meeting separately with the director, and she was pretty much giving me a warning about this co-teacher. She was like, listen, I've been trying to tell this girl to do specific things and implement specific things, and she's always catching attitude with me. It's always resistance, like, and I don't have time for that. Like, it's either you go do it or you're not going to do it. I'm not here to argue. We at work. So I defended my co-teacher, even though she had just rolled her eyes at me. I defended her and I was like, you know what? Maybe you just need to get to know her a little bit more. Because if you know her like I've been getting to know her, she's not giving me any signs that she's resistant or whatever, even though she had just rolled her eyes at me. So when God places somebody on my heart, I have to go hard for them. Keep digging because, you know, God is putting you on my heart for a reason. So as I'm getting to know her and as I'm opening up to her and I'm trying to allow her to get to know me, she starts to tell me about her past friendships, how she's not friends with a previous best friend before. I'm like, okay, we going through the same thing. I'm sharing, you know, my past friendship breakups with her. I'm telling her what I did. And then she starts opening up to me about her friendship group. She starts to tell me how she felt left out in this friendship group and how they just were, you know, not reciprocating. So I was like, you know what? Obviously God placed you in my life for some reason, because I've been in a place where I've experienced that too. I have not had friendship reciprocation. So now we're at that point, we're at that crossroads where she's going from being my coworker to being my friend. So she was telling me how they didn't invite her on trips and stuff like that and how she felt left out. I was like, girl, don't worry about that. Come over here with me and my friends. I'm forming a group of friends. I had just met another friend from Bumble. I'm like, come over here with us. Come on trips with us. Like let's have a good time. We start going out. We start going on trips. We went to trips to Orlando. We start spending more and more time together, and we start really getting to know each other. So at this point, you already know my triggers. You already know the things that I don't like. I've already shared my past trauma with you. You know, I've opened up. Prevalent to what I said before, even though I was skeptical, I was like, you know what? I'm still going to do it because maybe this friendship might be different. So this particular friend, she was late to a lot of things, and I had sat on it and I had not said anything for a long time because it just became this ongoing joke. Like, okay, you're the late friend. This particular friend, she wouldn't tell me that she was late until like the event already started. So say I invited her somewhere at 6, right? I get there at like 5:45 because I'm trying to be, you know, early. She won't tell me until like 6:15. Oh, hey, I'm running late. I'm going to be late. I'm like, okay. Or if I invited her to a place that she knew that she was not going to until the day of to tell me, hey, I'm not going to be able to make it. So it's like you're flaking on the day of. Communication, poor. So poor to the point where I would be texting her and she would wait days at a time to text me back, or like weeks at a time. But then when I would get around her, she always had her phone in her hand. So to me, I was like, I'm observing, I'm watching, you know, I'm giving grace, continuously giving grace. Then when I started to see it as a pattern, I'm like, okay, I don't like that, because now it seems like you're purposely, you know, not being on time. Because again, we worked together previously. So I saw you come to work on time consistently. So I know that you know that I know that you know how to get to places on time. Or does it only matter to you getting to places on time when you're getting paid? It's very telling. To me, the person that lives the closest to the destination should be there either early or on time. The person that lives the furthest is the person that deserves the most grace because, again, Miami traffic and things are far. But in this particular scenario, I lived the furthest from everyone and I still made it to places on time because I take time very seriously. I don't like to waste people's time, and I feel like when you're consistently late, it's like, okay, now you playing in my face because you really don't want to spend time with me how you saying that you want to spend time with me. The lack of eagerness, the lack of, just wanting to be there for me is when I was completely like, okay, yeah, I need to fall back. And the only reason that I'm sharing that she's late is because I want y'all to know that I accept people, their flaws and all. Like, even though I got a little bit of OCD and that really bothered me that she was late, it was a long time before I had really told this girl that bothered me. I have been holding on to that for so long, and that's something that I learned that I should not do in a friendship. Do not hold on to anything that they are doing that bothers you. Say it right then and there and leave it alone. However they to deal with it, that's going to show you how much they care about the friendship. My friends had, throw this little pool thing, this little pool get together and game night for us. So I'm like, okay, let me invite my co-teacher. Why not invite her? Like, let's go get in the pool. Let's go have a lot of fun with it. It comes to the time for us to get in the pool, and we've been in the pool playing games and stuff like that. It's been like an hour and a half. The friend that's hosting starts to ask about the friend/bride. So I'm like, you know what? Let me see where she is. Let me get my phone and text her. Hey, where you at? When are you coming? And stuff like that. And she pretty much tells me, oh, sorry, I had to go to a last minute makeup class. One of my friends needed me to be a model. I'm like, okay, cool, no problem. Like, I don't know how long we go be in the pool, but hey, it's up to you. Like, if you still want to come with a full face of makeup on, girl, go off. Like, because I'm here to take the pictures or whatever. That's the type of friend that I am. So I believe she came, I want to say like 2.5 hours late. And by that time, we was already ready to get out of the pool to, change, to eat. And then we watched a movie. And then I had asked the friend/bride, did she want to go to this phone party? She said that she was down to go to the phone party. I was like, okay. But then when it got time for us to leave my friend's house, she was giving me like some type of attitude, like she did not really want to go to the phone party. She did not express to me that she didn't want to go or anything like that. So now the energy is just weird again. I had to drop her home after that. That's the crazy part. The whole ride home, the energy is just weird because you're not saying how you really feel. Mind you, I had just came out of the phone party and was already experiencing another weird situation with a previous friend. It was like, okay, at this point, it's a weirdo over here, it's a weirdo over here, and I'm just sick of it. So while we're having these talks in the classrooms, I'm getting to know her more and more, and I start to ask her about her experiences with churches. She tells me that she's been to a church that she didn't really like it because she felt judged and stuff like that. And I'm like, girl, I have the perfect church for you. Come to my church home. Like, I'm going to send you the link. So I sent her the link, and she watched online a couple of times, and I know it started to get the wheels turning, and she started to be more intrigued. She would talk to me about it. She would be like, I'm so happy that your pastor is talking about this because other pastors are not talking about this. And I was like, yeah, my pastor is the best. Like, I love my church. When I go in, I feel welcome. We're not worrying about what you got on, what you're dressed like. All it is about your relationship with God. So that's what I was really trying to get her to see. And then she ended up coming to visit my church after a while. And then we talked at church, like briefly. She went to the altar to get saved. It was amazing. I was like, God, this is not a perfect friendship, but this is the start of a really good friendship because look at like how much she's excelling. Like the fact that I could bring people to God, it made my heart glow. Feeling that I felt that day, I was like, the amount of love that she's going to feel from God is what I've been feeling from God this whole time. And it's just so amazing. And we have something to talk about and bond over. So I was definitely feeling like, oh my God, this friendship is meant to be because now we have something to talk about. I could talk about my Christianity with you, up to you about that side of me that, people genuinely don't get from me at work. Regardless of all the past weird experiences I had already had with her, I was willing to put that to the side and say, you know what? It's all worth it. If she gets to see how amazing God is, if she gets to feel how amazing God is, if she actually changes her ways, it is worth it. So I was willing to throw everything that we had been through in the past and leave it there. So because I knew she was the type of person to be late, I planned my events around her schedule. After I saw her starting to serve in God's house and stuff like that, I was like, that's so great, but I don't want to impact her schedule. So even though I was having a brunch for my birthday, I was like, let me plan it a little bit later so it doesn't, get in the way of her serving in God's house. Because I never want to do that. I never want to come in between people and serving. Like, that's not me at all. I know how it feels to be on fire for God and to be in God's house serving and doing things. So I strategically planned that brunch after the church service so she would be able to come. She comes a little bit late. I'm like, okay, no problem. She's coming from church. Give her grace. Honestly, did not put emphasis on her coming late because I was like, you know what? We're going to go to an Airbnb later. We're going to have a game night. We're going to have a good time. So that's not even going to matter later on. After the brunch, I'm in the car with my friend. I get a call from my ex-boyfriend telling me, hey, my house just caught on fire. I stopped in my tracks. I'm like, okay, what do you need? Do you need me to come see you and stuff like that? Like, what do you need? Background, I've known my ex-boyfriend since I was 15 years old. After we stopped dating, we still continued to be friends because he's seen me in the worst of my seasons. I'll even talk about that in another video if y'all want me to, but there is so much trauma and things that I've been through. And this man has held me down like no other person. So like, that's my friend for life. Even though we're not together, that's my friend. I don't care what nobody got to say. So he tells me no, he's okay. And I'm like, okay, like, do you want to get out of the house? Like, do you want to come to my game night tonight? At first, I was not going to invite him because I already knew the background between him and that friend. Him and that friend, the last time that they had an encounter with each other, it was not good. They got into an argument. They started talking about why he wasn't marrying me. It was very toxic. It was weird, y'all. It got weird. It got toxic real quick. And I was like, okay, I never want to combine my friends ever again. Like, I never want to do this again. Like, it's time that I had like a bad experience with meshing my friends. Because it was my birthday, I was like, you know what? This is my birthday. My friends are going to be great if he comes around. Like, even though they didn't talk to each other since back then, let bygones be bygones. You know, things happen with people will get over it. So I thought. Fast forward to the game night, we start talking, and I believe we got on the topic about her being late. How this happened, I don't know. But I was just telling her, like, you know, like, time isn't very efficient. I'm pretty sure I didn't say it like that. Talked about how she was late to the pool party that I told you about prior. And she was like, oh my God, but I had prior engagements and the world doesn't revolve around you and stuff like that. And then her fiance at the time, he started to jump in and defend her, rightfully so. That's your lady. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna just drop it because obviously you're not ready to have a conversation. Even if it's a conversation in a jokingly way, you're not ready to have this conversation about you being late and my expectations. So I'm gonna just table it for another time. So after that, during us playing games, I get a phone call from my ex-boyfriend. He's like, oh, you know, should I come to the game night? And I was like, honestly, if you wanna come, you can. But, you know, you already know who's here. And I was just letting him know, like, I don't want it to be another situation that y'all had in the past. I don't want to make anybody uncomfortable. And he was like, you know what? I'll just come and I'll just stay for a few minutes. I'm like, okay, no problem. My ex-boyfriend walks in. If you don't know him, he's the type to like joke about things, even when it's serious, because he's trying to make light of the situation. So he walks in, he says, hey to everybody. He's like, hey, I know I smell like barbecue, but it's because my house caught on fire. I didn't tell anybody this because I didn't feel like it was any of their business. You know, like I didn't want to come out and say that. So we started playing games and stuff like that. I think they did something they did made me laugh so bad to the point where I fell on the floor. And then as I'm getting up, I'm looking at this friend's face and her face is turned up like, again, with the rolling of the eyes, the stank face and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, noted. After he already told y'all the things that he was going through and we were trying to make light of the situation, you're obviously still holding something on your heart for this man because of the way that you're looking at him, the way that you're looking at me when I'm engaging with him and stuff like that. And I just did not understand that. Even with her giving me the stank face, I was still trying to give her grace. I was like, you know what? Maybe, you know, she feels some type of way about me talking about how she was late earlier. That was what initially came to my mind. But then I was like, but why is she looking at me and him like that? Like, it was a look of disgust. Like, she was pretty much disgusted with us being happy. That look was a trigger for me because obviously that first year of knowing her, that's how she looked at me. And in that moment, I was like, wow, like this girl's body language keeps telling me that she hates me. And I'm just not listening because I want to see her through so bad, right? I want this friendship to work so bad that I'm ignoring all the signs of this girl genuinely hating me. How can you be friends with somebody so long and they just hate you so bad? The amount of grace and love that I extended to this girl, like, y'all just don't get it. There is so much that I can't even put in this video. The amount of love and the grace that I gave this girl, just for her to not extend it to others is insane. Like, so many Christians get it right, but so many Christians get it wrong. Like, you would think that, you know, she sees him in a rough spot, she sees him going through things, that she would extend some of that grace to him. It was never about her liking or loving my ex. It was always about extending grace, because you are not perfect, ma'am. You're not perfect by a long shot. Was he heavily abusing alcohol? Yes. But guess what? I was too in my younger 20s. And you know what he did? He stuck by me and he poured into me as a friend. So I had to reciprocate that energy for him. But the fact that you couldn't even get past yourself to be like, you know what? I see my friend extending grace to her friend. Let me extend him a little bit more grace. You know what? Because I don't fully know the story and I don't know what he's going through. You don't have to fully know what somebody is going through in order to extend grace. Grace was like a one-way street for her. It seems like everybody had to give it to her, but she could not give it in return to other people. And at that point, I was like, you know what? I feel it coming. Because when it came to her relationship, I was always 100% supportive. Regardless of what her and her fiance went through, I was always 100% supportive, and I was always telling her to fix it. Now, there were times where I was like, listen, girl, if you're ready to leave and you're ready to walk out the door, I'm walking with you, because I'm gonna ride with you. I'm your friend. If you're willing to stay and work it out with this man and you want to go to therapy with him, do that. And that's the type of friend that I am. And it's the fact that I wasn't even with this man. Like, this is my ex-boyfriend. This is literally my friend. I'm telling you that I'm abstinent. I'm not engaging with anybody. I'm not talking to anybody. This is literally just my friend. So the fact that you was giving me that energy, for what? We're all trying to have a good time and just go on about our day and go home. And that situation taught me that she was not ready to reciprocate energy. Like, it was okay when I was rooting for you and cheering for you in your relationship. And when I was rooting for you and your best friend repairing things. And when I was rooting for you and your friendships, it was okay for me to do that, but you couldn't do that for me. All I wanted from her genuinely was to extend grace. And to say, you know what, Kiwi? I don't fully understand the scope of what he's going through, but I am here to support you and your friend getting better. I thank God now it's July 2025 and my friend is sober. It took a whole year. It took everything in me. I'm over here being a supportive maid of honor. I'm trying to do the best that I can. And I'm over here trying to support my friend getting sober. And I can't even get the grace back that I'm giving out. I can't even get the support back that I'm giving out. So crazy to me, because like, I'm not even going to go into depth and talk about the things that she's been through her relationship, but you have been through some things in your relationship where a lot of people would have been like looking at you sideways, but I supported you through all of that because I'm a real friend. A friend, I feel like you don't even have to like him, you don't have to love him, but what you will do is respect him, because I had never disrespected your fiance. No matter how disrespectful he got with you, I never gave him that energy. I always greeted him with open arms and love. So we ended game night, and how the parking lot was set up, it was not enough parking spaces for everybody. So they had to park at a nearby park, and then I had to drop them to their cars. It was very ghetto. I would never rent the Airbnb again because it was just so inconvenient. So at the end, everybody's in my car and I'm driving them back to their cars, and she brings up the question, oh, how did your ex's house catch on fire? And I'm like, I honestly don't know the details because it just happened today. The only thing that he told me was that he was outside cutting the grass, he saw it on fire, and then he rushed in and, you know, he tried to save everything. And then she makes this comment and she's like, oh, so, you know, was it about alcohol? And at that point, I was trying to figure out, okay, are you genuinely asking this question because you're my friend and you're concerned? Or are you asking this question just so you could talk crap about me? And that's what it felt like. And at that point, I was like, here we go again. I believe my birthdays to be very monumental because it's always something going down on my birthday. Like, I can't even help it no more. To be honest, when it happens, I just be like, okay, this is the one thing that is sticking out from this birthday. So the fact that my ex got drunk and it was just a lot. Like, first I got to deal with the emotions of my friend. Then I got to deal with my drunk ex. It just kept piling up. And I just wanted to scream to the top of my lungs. I promise y'all, I wish that I never planned that game night to begin with. Because it's just like, if I didn't plan it, I felt like it wouldn't have a domino effect of so many things happening. But hey, we're here now. Next month, she has her bridal proposal. The bridal proposal was beautiful. If y'all saw me post it, y'all caught it. If y'all didn't, didn't expect anything out of it. I did not expect to be her maid of honor, to be honest. I thought I was going to be a bridesmaid at best because our friendship was already a little bit rocky. Like, I felt the tension rising and rising and rising. So I didn't think that she was going to pick me as her maid of honor, to be honest. I was like, you know what? I'll be satisfied with just being a bridesmaid. She could give the maid of honor to somebody else. But when she did ask me to be the maid of honor, I was like, all right, got to put them boots on the ground. Let's start planning the bachelorette party. Let's do this. Let's do that. 10 toes down. So She comes to me and another bridesmaid comes to me and they start talking about how they're having insecurities about their weight. Now, if you watch my other content that's on TikTok, I do a lot of fitness. I want to say I've been into my fitness for about like 5 years now. So I have the game plan down. I know what to eat. I know what to do to get the muscles going. So what I did was I asked them were they okay with doing like a little bridesmaid workout. So 2 to 3 days out of the week, we would go to a park and we would just take time out of the day to do some running, some 5-minute intervals, just to get our bodies moving, because I wanted everybody to feel confident the day of the wedding. So because these workouts were after work, I knew that I had to give her grace because the traffic in Miami is bad around 5 to 6 o'clock. Like during that block when you're trying to come all the way down, is bad. So what I pretty much did, I was like, okay, if y'all get here after 6, that's fine. We're gonna start, me and the other bridesmaid will start, and then y'all could just come in and fill in where y'all, fit in, that type of thing. We get to the point where we're working out one day and I tell her to do a specific exercise. And she's like, oh my God, I can't do it. It hurts. She starts like, whining and complaining. Now, has she whined and complained before and I haven't said anything? Yes. So I'm like, okay, she'll be all right. But then it's like every exercise that she's going through, she starts whining and complaining. So I'm like, girl, listen, get a grip and let's go. And she's like, oh no, you know that I had my injury and my shoulder injury and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, like that's something that you could have told me beforehand. Like you could have told me, hey, I have a shoulder injury. I'm not, allowed to do certain exercises. But in the moment, to be honest with y'all, I didn't want to hear that because it seemed like she was just making excuses as if to why she could not do specific things. I don't care what you're talking about. I had no emotion on my face because I had been hearing that for like 15 minutes straight of, oh my God, this hurts. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, da da da. And mind you, we're working different parts of our bodies. So one station will be thigh. It wasn't like every station was, upper body back to back to back. So the fact that she was complaining at every station, I was like, I'm fed up at this point. I don't want to hear you talk about how this is hurting because it seems like you're being the boy who cried wolf. I take responsibility for overreacting in that situation and telling her that I don't care because I should have never did that. So after that, there was obviously some tension, and then I waited for the other friend to leave. I was like, hey, I need to talk to you. I need to have a conversation with you, like outside of the workouts. I don't like to be in a friendship where there's tension and I feel like you're holding something against me or I'm holding something against you. Let's just lay it all flat on the table. So we did have a talk after one of our workouts and off by apologizing because I did not like the way that I overreacted about her shoulder injury. And I don't want to be that person that be like, oh girl, just like get over it. Makes it look like I have a lack of empathy for people when they have injuries and stuff like that. So I did apologize about that. Not necessarily about her being late to the bridal workouts, but it's about what she was doing within those bridal workouts that was pushing me further and further away from her, because it's like, okay, I'm giving you grace for coming late, right? I'm accepting the flaws. But then you come in here and then you complaining. Everything I'm telling you to do, you complaining about it. You're whining, you're complaining. And it's just like, bro, we're all hurting. We're all in this together. You're not working out by yourself. This is a group effort. So the pain that you're feeling, I'm more than sure that's the pain that everybody else is feeling. Negating the shoulder injury, right? If your legs are tired, my legs are tired too. Everybody is in this working out together. You're not the only person that is hurting. And because that late conversation came up, the conversation that we had on my birthday came up. Me, how she didn't feel comfortable with me doing that in front of everybody. Rightfully so. I'll apologize for that. I won't do things like that again, because I know that it makes you uncomfortable. I'm the type of person, when somebody's telling me something initially, I'm going to make notes and I'm going to make the changes instantly because I want you to know that I care about you and I care about this friendship. So once she told me, okay, like, that made me uncomfortable that you did that in front of everybody, I'm like, okay, boom, it won't happen again. At the end of that conversation, I thought that we came to a compromise and an agreement and we forgave each other and it was nothing on our hearts. We literally laid it there. I thought we were good and we were working towards being better. So I thought. So the other bridesmaid had planned things for us to do, like other workouts. She planned a cycling class for us. She planned like different workouts and things like that for us to do. So I'm like, okay, no problem. We had went to like this workout class. You guessed it, she arrived late again. And let me note that this class was later in the evening, so she had more time to make it to the class. So how this class is set up, it's a group workout class, and you got to go from station to station to station to station. So when she texted me and said that they were coming later, I was like, okay, no problem. I think y'all are going to have to start with the next group because we already, starting. I don't know if they're going to allow y'all to come in a group. So me and the bridesmaids start on a group. We start getting it in, and then they walk in or whatever. I see them walk in, but I'm like, damn, I'm in the mode of the workout, and I'm talking to the trainer, so I don't have enough time to actually talk to y'all. to actually be like, oh, hey, girl. Like, we don't got time to chit chat. Like, I'm getting down to business. I'm not trying to yap. As I thought after we had that talk in the park that we were going to let bygones be bygones. I was like, okay, like we had this talk. Now we can move forward with things. So I'm thinking that the workouts are going to be, you know, fine or whatever. There was a time where we were waiting for her to come to a workout and then she cancels. And I forgot the excuse that she gave me, but it was some BS, to be honest with y'all. So I was like, okay. And I'm only saying this because I want y'all to understand the amount of grace that God made me give this girl. If it was up to my flesh, I would have been done over with the friendship at that, because I feel like you playing in my face now. Like, me and my friend taking time out of our day to do this when we don't have to is crazy work that you felt like you didn't have to show up. You kept giving excuses as to why you couldn't show up and be better for yourself. So fast forward to the bride's birthday. She wants to have this pink themed game night. I'm like, okay, no problem. Even though I don't like the color pink, because my other friend, the bridesmaid, she had made me wear pink so much. I was just like repulsed by it, but I was like, okay, she doing this for her birthday. Let's do it. So I'm the first one to pull up to the house, obviously. Hello, I'm time efficient. I pull up to the house and like I'm calling the bride and she's not answering the phone. And I'm like, oh, that's weird. So I'm knocking at the door and then the fiance opens the door. I'm like, okay, I guess she hears my voice, so she knows that I'm in there. And then she texts me. She was like, oh, I'm sorry. You know, I was on the phone with my grandma. I'm like, okay, no problem. So I wait a few minutes and I'm just talking to the fiance. He's like, okay, he's offering me water, you know, small talk. And then I noticed that the bride's not coming out of the room. So I'm like, noted. So as the best friend comes and I'm like, hey girl, I haven't seen the best friend since the bridal proposal. They went through their own little background thing, which I know about, but I'm not going to display in this video because I'm not the type of person. So I was surprised to see the best friend there. So once the best friend comes out, then that's when the bride comes out. Interesting. And then the bridesmaid comes, give each other a hug, and I feel the energy. She does this face like before she gives me a hug. She's like, oh, hey, Kiwi. And she like, you know, clenches her jaw and she hugs me. And instantly I feel that disconnect. I feel that energy. So I'm like, okay, noted. I try to brush it off. I'm like, you know what? I brought games. We're about to have a good time. We're about to dance, sing, and have fun. Let me shake off how I'm feeling, because maybe it's just me overthinking. I go throughout the night. We dance, we sing, we have a good time or whatever. We eat, we talk, and we do like this little question game or whatever. And it was a good time. Like, I genuinely had a good time. So after that, we leave and we go home. The best friend leaves first, and then me and the bridesmaid, we leave together and we're walking out. And then we stop at the car and I'm like, I'm so glad that you and your best friend are, you know, y'all back good. I'm so happy for y'all and stuff like that. And then the bridesmaid is like, oh, I didn't even know, you know, like something was going on. And I was like, yeah, you know, like I just try to keep things on a hush hush. Like, you know, as her maid of honor, I'm trying to have respect for her and what she's going through, so I don't yap to people about what's going on between things like that. So that's kind of why you didn't know. But we had a little small conversation. I hugged and said goodbye to her and I went on about my day. Now, if I'm remembering correctly, her birthday was 1 week and dress shopping was the week afterwards. So the dress shopping time was at 12 o'clock and we met at, you know, at this plaza. I get there at 11 o'clock. I'm like, you know what? I got a whole hour. Let me go do some shopping at Bath & Body Works. Let me go walk around a little bit, maybe snack on something before the dress shopping starts. Because I had other plans, you know, after dress shopping. So I arrived at 11. The bridesmaid, I believe she arrived at like 11:30. So the bridesmaid decides to text the bride inside the group chat and ask her, okay, like what time should we be expecting you to get here? After that, we went back to Bath & Body Works. We actually went to Bath & Body Works twice because of how much time we had. So we went to Bath & Body Works twice, and after me and the bridesmaid are cashing out for the second time, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to text the group chat and see what's going on with the bride. So I pretty much tell her like, okay, hey, it's about like 11:55. When me and the bridesmaid are done shopping at Bath & Body Works, we're going to go ahead and head over to, you know, the bridal shop. And she's like, okay, sorry to tell y'all, I'm going to be late because of X, Y, and Z. She gives, you know, the excuse and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, no problem. I was upset. I'm not going to lie to y'all because I'm like, bro, here we go again with the time. You saw how people showed up for, you know, your game night one time. You saw how we put so much time aside for you. I'm doing this for you yet again. And how are you planning a dress fitting and you're not on time once again? That's so inconvenient because you're not being, you know, mindful of the things that other people have to do throughout their day. It's crazy work. So I'm talking to the bridesmaid and I'm like, bruh, like, you already know how I am about time. And she's like, listen, Kiwi, I know how you are. Give her some more grace. Talk about it later. Let's have a good day. I said, you're right. I said, you're right, friend. I'm going to push all of that to the side and I'm going to talk to her at a later time about it. And, you know, we could sort it out afterwards because I don't want to ruin her big day. So because me and the bridesmaid were already walking towards David's bridal, we go in there anyway. And we're like, okay, we could just wait in there for them for whenever they come. So we go in and then we start talking to the customer service reps and they were so freaking nice. Like David's bridal, the customer service was top tier. They kept complimenting me on, I remember what I was wearing vividly. I had on this yellow polka dotted thing. I was giving it to the girls. It was given very much, you know, spring while it was fall, but it was so much fun. They were complimenting me on my dress. They were talking about, you know, how my hair was. It was just a great conversation. I love to be complimented by Black women. So I was feeling good. Like after they gave me that, I was like, you know, I'm feeling good. So I pretty much asked them, I'm like, hey, do you have the bride's name down? Like, do you have this down for, you know, this time? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, okay, I'm just trying to let you know. She said that she's going to be a little bit late. I'm not sure what time, but could you push it like 30 minutes, you know, 40 minutes maybe? And she was like, yeah, no problem, whatever. And she was like, do you guys want to walk around in the meantime? I'm like, okay. So me and the bridesmaid, we walk around, we start, you know, like looking through the dresses and stuff like that. And then we get bored. So we're like, okay, let's just go walk around the plaza and do something in the meantime. So we go back to Bath and Body Works for, I want to say this is like the second or the third time or whatever. And then she picks up her stuff and then we're checking out. And I'm texting the group chat again. I'm like, hey, do you know what time you'll be arriving? Because I have other things to go to like after this. Like, you know, if I needed to make arrangements to push back my plans, I would have done that for her, even though she was late. Like I would have accommodated her, even though she was late. And I know that's crazy to say. So after that, I believe she tells me a time like 12:45 or something like that. It was something close to 1 o'clock. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. So I don't say anything because the bridesmaid told me not to say anything. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna still have good vibes when I walk up in there. So we checking out of Bath and Body Works for the third time. And I'm like, okay, like, where are you guys? Like, where y'all at? And she's like, oh, we're inside the store, the bride. Oh, we're here. And I'm like, so you weren't gonna tell us that you were there? Like, I don't understand what's wrong with the communication. That was so weird to me that she got there and she didn't tell us, oh, hey, we're here. Like, come on, guys, like, we're inside. Like, you're weird. I'm brushing off everything that's happening. So I walk in, I have a smile on my face. I greet the customer service reps again. I walk over and I see the bride and her mom and her cousin in between the dress and like in the aisle. So I'm like, hey guys, or whatever. The bridesmaid walks up to them and she hugs them. And then the customer service rep comes up to me and she's like, oh, you know, we're on a tight schedule. So start looking through the dresses. And I'm like, okay, let me start looking. So I start looking through the dresses. So as I'm looking through the dresses or whatever, the bride doesn't know that I could overhear the conversation that she's having with her mom. Yeah, if you're watching this video, I heard you. So she was on the opposite side and she was pretty much crying to her mom. And she was saying, I just don't understand why she's doing this to me and stuff like that. And I'm like, at first when I'm hearing this conversation, I'm like, oh, dang, maybe this is a personal conversation. Let me move away from this aisle. You know, maybe this is not about me, right? Until I'm looking through the dresses and then her mom, she tries to like play slick in a way and she tries to come up to me and she's like, oh, do you like this dress? And I'm like, you know, that's not really my style, but thank you. I have 2 dresses that I picked out. And then like, I'm trying to joke with the mom and I'm like, no, that dress is really giving grandma. I don't really like that too much. And she was like, no, it's not. And then she stops and she looks at me and she's like, you know what? I don't like the energy that you're giving out because the same energy that you're giving out, I could give back. The same energy that you're giving out, I could give back. And she just keeps going. She's popping off at the mouth. She's like, I don't appreciate you separating yourself from the group. I genuinely didn't even notice that I separated myself from the group, to be honest with y'all, because I was talking to the customer service rep and I was pretty much giving her the dresses that I wanted. If y'all wanted me to be in a group with y'all, why didn't you as the mother take it upon yourself and say, hey, come over here with us? Like, you know, we want this to be an experience. We want to look at all the dresses together. You never stated that in the beginning. So when I first came in and I greeted y'all, the customer service rep was like, hey, look at these dresses. And she told me to start looking at dresses. So I'm not understanding where this energy was coming from. It was so embarrassing. My own mother doesn't even talk to me like that. So to have somebody else's mother feel like they can disrespect me in public like that, that was enough for me to be like, you know what? Whatever string of faith I have for this friendship, I could no longer put myself through that anymore because now it's gone too far. Go as far as your mother trying to embarrass me. Not even try, she did embarrass me. Coming at me like she want to put her hands on me. You could have it. You could have it. I don't want to be the maid of honor no more. You could have it, babe. It's all yours. Homegirl tried to fight me in the middle of the aisle of David's bridal, y'all. And all I can think to myself is, you cool? Do you need that? But my face didn't say that. My face was like, this is my friend's mom. The way that I want to handle things, I cannot handle things like that because this is my friend's mom. Even in that situation, I'm still giving grace. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to extend grace to your mom because your mom isn't the issue in this situation. You are. You're the reason why your mom coming to me and giving me this energy because you just went over there and cried to your mom and told her a completely different story from what actually occurred. You didn't take accountability, and now your mom is attacking me as if I'm the issue, but I'm not. So as her mom's like going in at me in the middle of the aisle of David's bridal, people looking at us and everything, the customer service rep don't know what to do. I was like, if there's some type of energy that I'm giving off, the bride is aware of the energy that I'm giving off. And for that, I can say that I'm sorry, but she knows the reason why it is the way it is. So the mom is like, well, I don't know what y'all got going on, but y'all need to talk about it and fix it. And at that point, I'm like, this is not the time for that, right? We're in the middle of dress shopping. Y'all want to have a good day, right? You can't force me to talk about something and fix something just because you want me to. Like, no, that's not how this goes. I talk when I'm ready. So after that, the customer service rep interrupts because she sees it getting a little bit heated. And she's like, oh, let's go to the changing room. Let's go try on the dresses. You know, she's trying to, smooth everything out. So I go into the dressing room. When I say I'm hot, 38 hot, my brain is fuming. I could feel the steam coming out of my ears. I'm like, okay, let me just try on this dress. Then I thought to myself, I said, F that. I swung up in that dressing room door. I said, let me talk to you right quick. I'm talking to the bride. Let me talk to you outside right quick. I go outside, start going off. I said, I don't appreciate what just happened. I feel like you put a battery in your mom's back and you know exactly what you did. And now you're trying to throw rocks and hide your hand. But guess what? I see everything that you're doing. I see how manipulative you are. And I'm going to tell you about yourself. And guess what? I don't want to be your maid of honor anymore. The bridesmaid comes outside. She sees us arguing. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to step down as being the maid of honor. The bride is like, oh, but maybe we just need a day to, spend time with each other and fix it. No, we don't. No, we don't. No, we don't. We're way past trying to repair a friendship, babe. You're done. You're done, bucko. You're done. Like, the time to repair their friendship and the fact that you did not step in front of her and say, you know what, mom, chill, I got it. Absolutely not. The fact that your mom didn't come apologize to me as a grown woman as she calls herself, absolutely not. You very much childish, very much childish. Because the fact that you had to get your mom to solve a situation for you that you could have easily talked to me about when we have been talking, crazy work. Case closed. Went home, gave it a week. I ain't hear nothing. I ain't hear no apologies. All I heard was crickets. That was my last time giving grace. And I said, you know what, God, I'm going to pray on this. And that's it for me. There's nothing more that I can do for this friendship. There's nothing more that I can do for this girl. I'm done giving of me. After that week, it probably wasn't even a week, to be honest with y'all. I probably gave her like 3 days. Baby, you got 72 hours when it comes to me. Because something that crazy, you would have thought that she would have been so eager to apologize to me and say, you know what? This is somebody that I'm really close to. I really messed up in this situation. Let me go fix it. She ain't do none of that. No accountability, no apology, no nothing. So guess what I did? Blocked, moved on. I'm no longer a part of your wedding. Good riddance. Good luck. I wish you the best. Praying for you. Hoping the best. I'm done. And that situation taught me I'm done giving grace to people that are not willing to change. I'm done giving grace to people that are not willing to do the work. Remember my last words being to her, it feels like I'm in a friendship with you and you hate me. And she did not say anything back to defend that. So that was all I needed to know that we could, like, there was no going back from that. There was no repairing. There was no fixing it. Like, if her mom would have came to me and genuinely apologized and would have been like, you know what? I lost my temper. It was out of line for me to do that. I overstepped. I would have accepted that apology. If the bride would have came to me and would have been like, you know what? I'm sorry. I would have accepted that apology. But the fact that you didn't do anything, that showed me that the friendship was nothing to you to begin with. Like, I gave that friendship my all. I have no regrets for the love that I gave her because she needed that. I have no regrets for inviting her to church because she needed that. She needed to understand who God is. And I'm glad that I showed you who God is through my actions. Because I've been silent. I've been quiet. I let this situation sit. I waited until I was healed. But now I'm going to speak my truth because y'all got me messed up. If you ever thought that you had one over on me, you messed up. That's why I quit being a maid of honor. I want to also add to this because this is an afterthought, but she also tried to make it seem like I was jealous to other people. She tried to portray that narrative. And we both know that that's not true. I was nothing but supportive to you and your fiance. I'm not the type to be jealous of somebody else's relationship because seeing you getting married and going through that blessed me. That made me know, you know what? There's still real love left. I was genuinely happy for you. So the fact that you tried to portray that narrative to other people, I was like, wow. Okay, so the truth is coming out about how this girl really feels about me. And even up until the release of this video, I was still like, you know what? Let me give this girl more time. Me being delusional, thinking that you're actually gonna try to come in contact with me because we go to the same church. We see each other. Like, I know you see me. You had ample enough amount of time to talk to me, to apologize. But once I noticed I was waiting on an apology that was never going to come, I was like, you know what am I protecting here? What am I really protecting here? Am I protecting myself or I'm protecting her? And at the end of the day, I'm protecting you. I'm protecting how people see you. I'm protecting what we went through, but I'm done protecting you. You didn't protect my feelings. You didn't protect me when it came to your mom. The whole friendship, it was me just giving and giving and giving and you just receiving. And lastly, that friendship taught me so much. Like, even though it didn't end on good terms, it taught me how big God made my heart. It made me see myself in a new light because the amount of grace that I had gave her, I haven't given to any of my friends, to be honest with y'all. But the fact that I stuck it out and I tried and I tried and I tried until I couldn't no more, it showed me how much I grew. So I thank God for that friendship. I'm not going to change the way that I am because I have a big heart. That's who God has called me to be. I'm still going to go into friendships and have the same amount of energy, still give the same amount of support because everybody is not her. And yeah, I'm in therapy. I have gotten to the point where, you know, it still triggers me every now and then when I talk about the friendship, but I'm not as angry as I was in the past. I could tell you that. If I would have made this video last year around the time where it was happening, I felt like it would have been a mess. I would have been cursing, crying, throwing things and stuff like that. And I just didn't want that. But yeah, like, comment, and subscribe. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any friendship breakup questions, you could drop them in the comments and I'll be sure to answer them. Bye.